Dune. If you're looking for a movie that will make you relive the grandeur of Marvel's Infinity War and Endgame, a movie that has plot with twists and turns like Game of Thrones, a movie with cinematography and complete brilliance like The Lord of the Rings, Dune. I was reluctant to watch the first movie because I love anything and everything Star Wars. This sounds incredibly stupid hearing myself say it out loud, but I didn't want anything to replace that spectacular universe that means so much to me. I was on a very long cross-country flight and had a couple hours to spend, and being the media fanatic I am, I scoured for anything interesting on the airline's catalog. Upon seeing the Dune poster in my future wife Zendaya's face, I knew it was time to tap in and see what everyone was talking about. But this video is not to fangirl over Dune, it is to fangirl over Dune 2, an even better movie in my honest opinion, as well as the general public's. Dune 1, released in 2021, received a mediocre 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, while Dune 2 blew that out of the water with a 93% Rotten Tomato rating and a 95% audience rating. But what made this movie so successful? Why do people love it so much? It's just teenagers running around in a big sandbox, right? Well, yeah, this is true. The complexities of every character is perfect and synergized for a collective A++ performance. Every scene is intricate and beautifully spliced together, so deliberate and breathtaking to take in. I believe the overall premise of the storyline of Dune 2 was relatively simple in the fact that we had point A and point B. Point A, Paul had just had his whole family and dynasty basically slain, and he had to rebuild and reclaim his honor, shout out Zuko, by getting and communicating to the great houses and getting revenge on the emperor, point A to point B. But along the line, there were many random additions. One for me was when Josh Brolin, Thanos, popped out of nowhere. I was kind of confused at that part, but more so the mind-bending nature of the entire story. How it's not necessarily a linear narrative. Although there was the point A to point B, there's so many things spliced together that weren't necessarily chronological that made it harder to follow. Just like the first movie, something I heard from critics is that it was very slow, which I agree. The first part of the first movie was very slow, and then it sped up incredibly fast in the second half. And like this Dune 2 follows the same trajectory. I'd heard from people before I saw it like, oh, it's more action, and it was really good action, don't get me wrong. And the first one was as well, but I believe that it kind of took a little bit longer to get up to that peak. And when it hits that peak, it just like keeps going. It's like a snowball coming down the slope. Like, you know, it starts small and like, I did not expect the Emperor to come to Arrakis in this movie and them to for Paul to confront him. But yeah, I definitely loved it, and I felt like it really makes sense they did it in this way. Easily, the acting was absolutely magnificent. I mean, when you have all A-list actors, you know you're in the right place, especially when you can kill off 4 of them and still keep it pushing. I mean, it's just like, you feel so engaged with the story. It's really so enveloping, and it's really just believable, real, emotional, heartfelt, genuine. And I feel like these things can be absent, especially when you have so many different mediums and TV shows where the actors aren't really there for me sometimes. But it's this one, they just hit it on the nail. You're in Arrakis, you're on the planet with them. It's Dune, you're there. One thing that I didn't like though was Shani and Paul's relationship. I feel like that didn't really convince me enough. Again, I haven't read the book, so I'm not completely educated about, you know, the specifics of it all. But I just feel like that relationship was kind of extraneous to me, especially, or maybe, I mean, maybe it is supposed to mean more when Paul has to cast that aside and when he goes for the Emperor's daughter in order to have a successful reign. But I don't know, I feel like there were points that they could have done better about it. Even after it's been a couple weeks since I've seen the movie, one scene that really sticks out to me is when they're on the Harkonnen homeworld Gedi Prime. The idea to have it just be the UV lighting where it's only black and white is just so brilliant. I mean, first off, it's something that I've never seen in a movie or a TV show before, maybe an anime or such, but I think in live action it's really, really cool and a great effect that brings some nuance to the media industry that we just haven't seen for a little bit. And I think that this excellent set design is just crucial in Dune, especially when you're looking at a fantastical world such as Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. You need this iconic videography and cinematography to really engage and captivate your audience. And I think that the director Villeneuve does an excellent job with that and just really putting everything down to a T. I mean, when you see a desert for so long, you can only see sand in so many different ways. It's just awesome. I feel like there's enough of a variety where you don't just get bored of looking at sand, yet you see so many different things, but only in one place. As well as, I think the cherry on top was just the costume design was perfect. I mean, every character really reflected the different house and the cultural implications, from the Fremen to Harkonnen to Atreides to even when the Emperor came. I was very surprised. I was kind of confused why the Emperor's daughter was wearing that chainmail armor, but upon looking at clips afterwards, I was like, yeah, they knew what they were doing. That's kind of tough. And so I feel like it's just everything coming together perfectly, and you can tell that they had a vision and executed it. In conclusion, I personally think that Dune 2 will probably be the best movie of this year, maybe only rivaled by Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse 3, if that comes out, that is. But I think that it's just insane how beautiful the movie is. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think that the lack of great movies over the past couple years has really set the stage for another great movie to come and emerge like Dune 2 just did. And I feel like it's a return to old cinema that we're used to, from the storyline to the beautiful graphics of the modern age to just class acting. I mean, just like they got their stuff down, man. And I feel like it's a return to old cinema, really, and it makes me excited. And I hope that other productions and other producers and other directors see Dune 2 and say, okay, you know, that's the standard now, we're going back to that, let's all uplift and let's all elevate. And I think that that is 100% possible. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Thank you again, and enjoy your day.